Over the past few days, I've been extremely sad, just thinking about, from a very personal level, meeting her in the 7th grade at Marshall Middle School. It's painful, but also thinking about our people, Filipino Americans, that her efforts advanced us as a whole people in this country. And it's a huge weight to think about. But every time I get sad, I think to myself, man, what is Don doing right now in heaven? Kicking it with Santo Niño, And so I just close your eyes with me, because we've been going through a lot of heaviness, and just close your eyes and maybe her and Santo Niño, they'll just be talking about what's going on in Cebu. Maybe they'll fly together like the way Superman flies with Lois Lane, because Santo Niño has that cape. Or maybe they're playing catch with that ball that he holds with a cross. Because Santo Niño's been holding that for a long time. No one wants to play with it. Now open your eyes. Don't you feel better? I know I do. That's right. Little Manila. We founded Little Manila together. And I understood that one of the biggest things we had to overcome was colonial mentality. Colonial mentality is the internalized attitude of ethnic or cultural inferiority felt by a people as a result of colonization. It corresponds with the belief that the cultural values of the colonizer are inherently superior to one's own. Dawn was the most decolonized out of all of us. Out of all of us, she was the one who saw the threat of the wrecking ball upon Little Manila and said, heck no. And when everyone else said that nothing could be done, and we accepted the idea that a McDonald's and a gas station was more valuable than our history and legacy as Filipino Americans, Dawn had no doubt that we could stop them. And this was before her doctorate, before the awards, before she wrote the book. She had no doubt that she could stop them from destroying the 3 remaining buildings. Her will and resolve was so strong that we all came along with her on this crazy ride. Because when others could only see blight, Skid Row, the ghetto, she saw our mothers, our fathers, their dreams deferred, their sacrifice and struggle. She saw our community as it was. She saw our community as what it could be. She saw beauty. Dawn was the most decolonized out of all of us. And she could switch it up. She could go from intellectual and academic historian to Southside homegirl, BSing and joking with you in the blink of an eye. I bet almost every single one of you in this room today shared a laugh with her at some point. And that alone is an amazing feat. Like I said, she could switch it up, and she switched it up. And when she switched it up on the intellectual side, we'd be cheering her on. Yeah, go Dawn! What she said. and she had to be sharp, right? She had to be sharp because every step along the way, people wanted to discredit her and her research, saying it wasn't academic enough because she was involved politically by fighting the developers, or her story in the book was too personal. But when you represent a marginalized community, you do not have the luxury of being a sterile academic. That's right. When you tell the story of a marginalized community that the oppressors said had no value and destroyed it, leaving us only the shattered pieces of who we were, of which she slowly and methodically pieced back together, the result was her masterpiece, Little Manila is in the Heart, a book filled with so much realness and first source references that the tone of the book for the naysayers was literally, don't F with us. This is our story, and no one will ever take it away from us again. When Dawn passed away, I received a whole bunch of messages, but what stood out were these messages from two white male historians that basically said, Dawn is my hero. She is a historian who actually made a difference. I want to be just like her. And I said, damn, Dawn, you got two white dudes screaming, dreaming of becoming a strong brown knight from the South Side. Damn. Dawn was such a badass. If you haven't already, just read her books. She is one of the greatest storytellers of our people. Her books salvaged our legacy as Filipino Americans, teaches us that what we came from was from a strong and brave people who fought for social justice and lived a life of sacrifice in an environment of institutionalized racism. She carried the hopes and dreams of a whole generation of Filipino Americans and delivered them to us so that we could fully understand what it meant to be Filipino American and what it meant to be from Stockton. It was like she created a mirror and we were able to see ourselves in a new way, and it was beautiful. She dedicated her life to this. Dawn was the most decolonized out of all of us. We started an organization together that viewed history's purpose not just as a way to answer trivia questions, but to understand where we need to stand today and to save and cherish Little Manila, to apply its lessons to the challenges we face today, and to fight for the marginalized and the poor, to provide greater context as what it means to be Filipino American and to empower young people to make a difference with their lives. Dawn, we will continue your work through this organization we started, Little Manila Rising. We saved those buildings. We brought ethnic studies to Stockton so that young people would never have to leave Stockton to learn about their home, like we did. We are helping to train ethnic studies teachers in Stockton Unified right now so that they could share just a bit of passion that you had with their students. We revived Filipino dance and music locally, and we are now working with undocumented youth at Edison High School to teach them and to organize them. We are engaging in issues of poverty in South Stockton and a hope to bring equitable solutions to our community and to stand in solidarity with today's marginalized communities. Dawn, through all this, we will see you and your spirit. We will see you in every young Pinay and Pinoy who pumps their fists in the air, inspired and empowered with the precious knowledge you will continue to teach to our community for generations to come. We will see you, Dawn, because as you stood in front of those three forgotten buildings in a community shattered and forsaken, in the shadow of a McDonald's and a gas station, you said, heck no, because you saw us, our heritage, our community, and what we could be. Dawn was the most decolonized out of all of us. Thank you, Jesse, and all of Dawn's family for sharing her with us. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you so much.